This is 7th Metro on a somewhat rainy day. Sort of as you step out at around 4:30 as the sun is going down in mid-December. You really get a feeling for how crowded this area is on a pretty light traffic day here. Usually it'd be a little bit more crowded. The rain is chasing a bunch of people away. But this is the convergence of something like four major rail lines. And as you come out, there's just nowhere to stand or gather. And what happens is areas get extremely crowded. And, it would be nice to free up a little bit of this space for people coming out of the convergence of what will soon be four or five major rail lines as they get all of those things together. But first we enter this interesting slash bike lane slash restaurant area that has, recently been closed down. This particular area here is often choked with just people parking in the right turn lane, etc., but the rain chases some of those people away. So this also is an area that is used for people sitting, and I'm lucky enough today to actually be able to use the bike lane, obstructed only minorly by people and trees. But again, an expansion of the sidewalk at the major connector of the rail lines, would be nice as we come out on Figueroa, a 17-lane, one-way highway, essentially, mainly dedicated to cars. So the bike lane is shared here by the bus lane, and is often used as a spot for cars to stop because there's not much parking here. So a solution to this problem, minorly broken up here by right turn lanes that have red lights that are often ignored. So here you see the bus slash bike lane. What do? You just keep going. This particular lane, it's not well traveled, and you can see the cars kind of confused as to, hey, can I be here to pass the traffic or not? And, if this lane were shut down, was a dedicated bus lane, or switch between the bus and the bike lane, and, what's happening here? Just utter chaos. And confusion again. This is another right turn lane that at any moment a car is going to run that red light. In a sense, it's adventurous, but in another sense, it's why does it have to be this way? Could someone potentially make up a safe bike lane here? It's nice. You got these little green lines. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but the good thing here is the rain is chasing away most of the chaos. There's not much going on. It's a nice little switch, but here we have an official car that's parked in the bike lane. Here's another one that at least has lights on it. Maybe that's scaring away people who might want to park in front of their charter, some kind of cable truck. As we go right again here into the 2nd Street Tunnel, which is a beautiful bike pathway, right in the middle is broken up by an encampment, which either will have stuff strewn into the bike lane, people using the bike lane for a front porch. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is exactly, but The cars use it as a racetrack, and it can be difficult on a bike to get through these obstructions. And sometimes you have to go into the travel lane as the cars are going as much, probably 50 plus miles an hour. Um, they will honk at you if you go into the travel lane, whether or not you have much of a choice on a bicycle, which you really can't tell whether it's obstructed or not when you go in. So the sun goes down pretty early at this time of year, so it can be difficult if I get off work a little bit late. It gets real dark real quick. So this intersection here, another, just how many lanes here? It's a lot. Cars going pretty fast, cars doing really weird double U-turns, something. And I've caught a fair amount of strange things happening in this intersection. Waiting here a little bit longer than you. Here we go, right in front of a police officer. What is that guy doing? Just being confused by anything going on. So here we have a bike lane that is not very, very narrow. So cars parked in the way will block you, and of course that's the door zone. So anybody who opens their door at any moment can create a hazard for that particular bike lane. So this is the Spring Street Broadway station that will eventually be open, so I don't have to use this as a travel corridor. But in the meantime, we have zero bike lane here. So I've been passed in this area here very interestingly, and then after I pass that car, I will meet them at the red light, either here or at the next intersection. And again, cars going right here, just they'll pass you and then stop and make a right. So the view here on a rainy day, it's a little different. Makes for a nice little change, and of course there's just not as many people out, so that's making the ride slightly nicer than usual, and proving that you could probably shut down a few of these lanes to pedestrians and bikes without really ruining commerce whatsoever. So there's a tremendous amount of red lights here. It's going to be interesting when they open the regional connector how much quicker I will be able to get to and from work when that opens. We're crossing our fingers. When is that going to be? Was supposed to be, I don't know, a couple months ago. Now they're saying first quarter of 2023. I'd say April would be the earliest that it happens. So in this area, you've got cars parked illegally and then just going and then stopping in front of you. So there's, even on a rainy day, the interesting stuff that happens. Here's a UPS truck parked illegally. And of course getting stuck at the next red light once again. I choose to go this way because it seems to be the slowest area with the least chaos for bikes. There's a intermittent bike lane on First Street but I found myself running into more trouble there than going this way, and sort of being forced to consider that now, talking to myself for 10 minutes. Maybe I should try the other one. So they've painted a few new bike lanes. It might have changed things slightly. Who knows? So this particular area is very crowded. And why do we need car traffic going through here exactly? I think it's a good question. The cars are always trying to go as fast as possible to pass me and immediately get stuck at another red light. Here we have a student driver who's making me nervous. Alright. Riding his brakes. Alright, what's he about to do? Okay, he's actually signaling before turning, so that's nice. Now we're headed towards, slightly south of the little Tokyo stop that has been moved underground on the way to Pico, Aliso. So I go this way in the Sharrows. So this is supposed to be a 25 mile per hour street in very, very bad condition, very bumpy, and cars do not want to go 25 miles an hour here because they're using it as a shortcut somewhere. So I'm going to make a left onto First Street where there is now a bike lane. So there is a bike lane going the opposite way all the way through, but there's no bike lane going in this direction until I make a left here onto Vines. There can be traffic in this area, but it's a little light today. So the First Street Bridge is on the right here. There is a brand new bike lane here. It's very narrow. It is in horrible condition, but okay. So on this must have been the last day before they painted the bike lane. So they paint the bike lane over this horrible asphalt in this area that collects trash and other debris, but it's there now, and it makes you feel slightly better about that. So because it's raining here, you can see a little better how terrible the potholes are as you go through them on the asphalt. So there's no potholes in the cement, but that's a slick area, which is also not fun to be on. Another pothole as you have these cars. This is a 30 mile an hour speed limit here. Why there's a 30 mile an hour speed limit right next to a bike sharrow is any guess, but another giant pothole. Yeah, it's an adventure, but you can see the path of the new regional connector here, and that's going to open. It's going to open at some point. So here we have me merging into the lane to avoid getting right crossed here.